So my name is Grant Miller, and I'm the Staff Sergeant of the Calgary Police Service Homicide Unit, and I have the following release for you today. The Calgary Police Service Homicide Unit is looking to speak with a man believed to be responsible for a 2004 homicide. Just after 3 a.m. on Sunday, January 25, 2004, officers were called to a parking lot in the 1200 block of 1 Street Southwest for reports of an injured man. The man was transported to hospital but died a short time later. An autopsy confirmed Shane Johnson, 23 years of age, died as a result of a stabbing. It is believed Johnson left the NYLA nightclub where he and another man had a minor verbal exchange. As he and a group of friends walked to a parking lot in the area, he became separated from the group that he was with. It is alleged an unidentified man came up behind Johnson, stabbed him, and then fled the scene. At the time of the murder, the person responsible was described as a black male in his early 20s, 5 foot 8 inches tall and 120 pounds, and he was wearing a green jacket and running shoes. Based on new information that has come forward, investigators are releasing a video in hopes of identifying a man who is believed to be responsible for the murder. The video can be found on the City of Calgary newsroom website. Investigators believe the man went to the Greyhound bus station on Wednesday, January 28, 2004, and purchased a ticket under the name of Joseph. He also goes by the name of T or Tyson. At the Greyhound station, he was wearing a long dark green jacket with yellow lining and a white do-rag on his head. Police are also looking to speak with 2 other people who are seen with him in the video footage, who may have information. One is described as a male wearing a gray hoodie with the hood pulled up, and the second person is described as a female wearing dark clothing and a dark do-rag on her head. Anyone who may have information about the identities or whereabouts of any of the persons or the images or any other information about the homicide of Shane Johnson is asked to contact Crime Stoppers, and I'll take your questions.
Where were they headed?
The bus ticket that night was purchased to Vancouver.
What exactly brought your attention to this video? What sparked this?
Homicide investigations are very large and very complex, and in the course of them, it's not unusual to collect volumes of information. And sometimes at the time of the incident, it's hard to determine what certain pieces mean and what is important and what is relevant. Recently, we've come into information specifically about the names that I've listed here today. And with that information, we're able to go back and look at the pieces that existed in the investigation that we had and determine that the person at the bus depot is going to be the person that we're interested in.
Does this have any relation to gang activity in the city?
At this point, we're trying to determine what exactly the motive was. We are getting a little bit of conflicting information as that if there was something that led up to this, or was this just a random meet, or if this was a targeted attack. We're still trying to determine those exact specifics of this situation.
Have you always had these pictures and videos?
We have, and again, without context, again, these investigations collect incredible amounts of information, and it takes, again, quite often we build puzzles without knowing how many pieces we have and how many are in the puzzle. So as more pieces come to our attention, it puts the other pieces into context.
So just to be clear, this is a video from the Greyhound terminal?
That's correct.
And was it a person that called and said this individual's name was Joseph, or how did this all transpire?
I'd rather not get into the specifics of how this information comes to the homicide unit now, but we think it's relevant, and we wanted to get the information out.
You got the description of the individual.
Joseph?
I've got it as Joseph, Y-O-S-E-F.
So you got the description of the individual, the same description at that time of the incident, the original incident?
It matches the description of the offender that night.
Would you not match it at the time to the video that you had, roughly about the same time?
Again, it's not like this investigation only collected, say, 2 pieces. There are thousands of pieces in any of these investigations.
Do you believe he lives here or Vancouver? Or?
Well, again, keeping in mind that this homicide is now 9.5 years old. So that's another reason why we're coming to the public today to help us try to locate this person.
Have you been in touch with Vancouver police?
We have.
Any notion that the victim and the perpetrator, the suspect, know each other?
Again, that's something we're trying to determine. On its appearance, this happened after closing time on one street in the entertainment district. So it could appear as a random fight, altercation that escalated at closing time in the bars. We're trying to determine if it's maybe something more than that.
Just to refresh memories, were there any witnesses at the crime itself?
In most, I'll say, entertainment district crimes, there are several witnesses. There are dozens of witnesses involved in this, who we took statements from at the time. We're in the process of seeking some of those people out. We have spoken to some. We're in the process of speaking to others now.
The victim's family has been quite vocal in the years past. Have you been able to contact them with this new information and their reaction?
Just a question. So are you speaking of the Johnson family, or are you speaking of the other family?
I believe it's the Johnson family.
Okay. We have spoken to the Johnson family, and we are speaking with them again now.
And do you have their reaction?
I do, but I just don't wish to share it at this time.
The nickname T, was that given recently? Or
Yes.
did you always have that?
No, recently.
It sounds like you have a lot of information about this individual. Is it just that you're lacking a full name in order to get a Canada-wide warrant or similar?
I think we need a little more than that for a Canada-wide warrant, but we think we're close, and we think with coming to the media today, that is going to help us maybe solidify the last few pieces that we need.
Was Greyhound able to help you out in providing an identity for the ticket purchaser?
Greyhound has given us all the information. They've been very cooperative, and they've given us all the information that they have, including the name of the ticket, the name that the ticket was purchased under. The video surveillance is from their system. So yes, they've been very helpful.
Anything else?
Just maybe a dumb question, but as far as the ticket, you've got the ticket, it has a name on it. Do you believe the name might have been forged, left there?
I'm not sure that you're always required to provide correct identity to buy a bus ticket, and the name sometimes we find on tickets or other, let's say, electronic equipment isn't always cell phones, isn't always accurate, isn't always the person. And again, at this point, 9.5 years later, and in any of these situations, we have to go back and redo the investigation almost in its entirety.
One more question. If you've now got a video, are you able to match it, what you can see from that video to any previous photos you have of this individual, or you might think it is?
Well, again, we're trying to determine exactly who that is. I think the description that we're providing today is a young black male, 5'8", 120 pounds. That is the description of the offender. That would appear to be the description we have in the video. Now we have to determine who this person is.
When this video was recorded, how old?
This is from the night of Wednesday, January the 28th, 2004. And the incident was Sunday, January 25th, 2004.